Are we in the right place now? Let's see. Do I have to stop it and start all over? Somebody's in the YouTube? I can't see it on YouTube. That's not the thumbnail I chose. That's strange. That's not the thumbnail I chose. But okay, we are having a 5K giveaway. So yeah, that's what it's up. That's what it's up. What'd you say? Raise your hand if you voted for NOlandria. I did. I did. Now why can't I see me? Hmm. Is a button pressed? Hello? Uh-oh. Lots of stuff is happening, you guys. So let's go like that. Hi, there I am. You know, Mercury is going retrograde on the 17th, and I already tell you guys all the time. I have my hair up. I always tell you guys all the time that when Mercury is going retrograde, there's a shadow period for about 10 days prior to the retrograde and 10 days post retrograde that Mercury be tripping on a system. Okay? Electronics, communication, things that usually work out are tripping. I can see you now. I can see you now, but it feels like I'm see-through, like I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Is that better? I don't know. I don't know. Now, can I see this? I, I don't know. Go ahead and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring my bell, ring my bell, so you can get notified when I upload videos. Okay, TikTok. We are simultaneous. We're live on TikTok, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Twitch. Okay, we're hitting all the platforms because we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about NOlandria, a love story. It's the realest love story on Love Island so far this season, you guys. It's like the only real love story. Let me tell you, as a first time Islander, I was gobsmacked. My flaps have been gasted at the lack of love I've been witnessing. But I was tuning into love and hip hop, not Love Island. I was like, when did Love and Hip Hop get a Fiji edition? Messing around with Huda and her toxic, dominant, narcissistic, let me mount a fool so I can control him ass. And then we had a witch enter the casa, so they say, because as soon as the witch left, allegedly, as soon as the witch leaves, we finally get NOlandria, okay? Which was brewing since day one, okay? It was brewing since day one. Now, the reason I say NOlandria has been brewing since day one is because she kissed him on the first day, and he kissed her the first time he got a chance to with the blindfolds on, and she didn't never know. And we've all been waiting for movie night so she could finally see that it was him that kissed her, so they could finally act on that little oomph that we've been feeling, the little oomph, you know? And she's been so reserved with Taylor talking about a slow burn, only for Taylor to not be lit at all. Taylor wasn't lit. Taylor wasn't lit. Slow burn isn't not on. Using Olandria, using Olandria. as a space holder, this Nubian goddess, this melanated queen, this freaking, I mean, talk about out of your motherfucking league, Taylor. And she allowed you to be next to her for 19, 20 days, fool. And obviously you have words as an HBCU grad, because you know he's an HBCU. He attends HBCU. Hey babe, I'm live. Get out of here. Get out. That was son. He needed to come do a flip on the bed. I hope it doesn't ding me anywhere, because whenever I show my kids on theme, they be like, like, I thought people made a whole YouTube career off of having their children in the same video as with what they do. I don't know. Anyway, back to Taylor. So Taylor, we don't even really need to think about him anymore, because exactly what I said was going to happen happened. Remember when I said that Taylor, I can't even show you guys over here, but I made a whole image. Check my previous video on TikTok and on YouTube. There's a short in both places where I made this great graphic with a little dinghy and Taylor and Clark with their suitcases on the dinghy leaving Love Island. Okay, because you never win when you play dirty, Taylor. And let that be a note to the next fool that wants to come on a show and freaking use a goddess as a placeholder when she's been out of your league, bruh. She been out of your league. You were lucky to be breathing the air she was sharing with you, fool. And then here you gonna go. You can tell everybody else, you can tell all the people with scrotums that you weren't into Olandria, but you couldn't tell Olandria that you were into Olandria. That's the problem I have with you, Taylor. Taylor, because you wasn't tailing her nothing. You was not tailing Olandria nothing, Taylor. And then when Jalen come, oh, what can I do? I'm worried. And then, you know what the kicker on the cake was? When because we already know that Taylor got voted off the island. I told you they was going exactly the places him and Taylor was talking to. Taylor and Clark been talking about homes and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm glad you're talking about them, because that's where we sending you. Homes. Yes, your proverbial homes is where you about to go in this piece, because God don't like ugly and very little pretty. And what Taylor did to Landria was just ugly. It was just some ugly usury. Okay? Yeah, fine, this is the game. Yeah, fine. There's supposed to be strategies and gameplay. Yeah, fine. But you do not have to lie to play a good game. You don't have to. You don't have to be totally dishonest and deceitful. You don't have to. But you can be. But you can be if you want to be. I mean, hey, you can do with your life what you feel like doing with your life. I'm not you, you not me. But I'm just saying that I'm not trying to add no extra karma tickets to this Carmageddon that's coming about, y'all. And if I had a chance to just tell somebody in a game that either I'm into you or not into you, so that person can then go explore in the only environment where I can go explore somebody and not catch a case. But no. So when Taylor gets voted off the island last night, Ace said something very telling to me. He said, you did what you had to do. I'm proud of you. And that told me even more that he knew that he was playing this game with this woman, and that he did what he needed to do for his game with this woman's heart involved. Because I feel like, Landria, I'm sleeping next to somebody for 19 days, friend or not, is, I mean, sleeping next to somebody for 19 days is a way that creates a false sense of intimacy. And I feel like that's part of this experiment. Is you get to this island where there's nobody, you're immediately coupled up with somebody, and then you're immediately put in a bed with that person, creating a false sense of intimacy. And we know that intimacy is a key step to a relationship. And the mere fact, the mere act rather of sleeping with somebody creates an intimacy and a false sense of uh, relationship and security because Olandria was not safe. Can you imagine sleeping next to somebody for 20 days and they didn't even like your ass, all that energy you was picking up? Do you know a thing called kinesiology? It's the study of, you guys, time to go swimming. It's the study of energy and how it affects you, right? So kinesiologists, they're like, can tell you about energy flow and stuff, right? So thoughts are things, and we already know that, right? So like I stay prayed up real good because being on these platforms, there's a lot of people throwing you all kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, here's some Florida water for you bitches, okay? And so but kinesiology is like you can literally just think a negative thought about somebody and you can bring down their energy, right? Or you can think a positive thought about somebody and you can increase their energy, right? So imagine in this false sense of intimacy, in a false sense of security with this fake ass Fakey McFakerson Taylor who didn't tail her nothing. He didn't tail her a thing. He told Ace he didn't like her and didn't find her attractive. He told Ace, but he didn't tell damn Olandria, and that's the person who needed to know because then she could have moved accordingly had he been upfront and personal with his truth instead of using her and doing what he needed to do to stay in the game. And that's why Taylor didn't win, and that's why Clark was never going to win, because actually if they would have had another week to let it play out, Ace would have turned on Taylor too and been like, oh, Clark, you actually tied it down too soon, you haven't explored nobody else in the house. Huh. Because that's what he did to old Huda and her Jeremiah. He didn't like that. He didn't like when Huda walked in the house and hopped on Jeremiah and didn't get off. He didn't like that. But Clark can walk in a house and hop on Taylor and not get off. She didn't even really entertain anybody else. She didn't want to kiss Nick. She didn't even want to mess with old Ace, right? So what I'm thinking is that the only love story that I actually saw in this 6 weeks has been NOlandria. And I'm sticking with NOlandria because look, as women, we be wanting the guy to pick the dinner. We don't want to have to, we want you to show us your thought patterns. Like we want to be on your mind, like the thoughtfulness about what you do for us. And can you plan a date without our input and us telling you exactly what poop to make? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's your creativity, right? So for Nick to have been in um relationship in a situationship with Sierra for since like day 4 because his first person was Bella and Beldasha actually, and she actually left episode 7, and that was because Sierra came around episode 4. So since about episode 4, Nick had the spell of Sierra on him, right? But he always had these feelings for Olandria that we could see. We could see it, like the way he'd be looking at her from the side. He gives you a little feeling in your stomach. You'd be like, "Oh, girl, that fool like you. You got his nose open." And but with Sierra in the way, he was unable to act on it because he is a good guy. I feel like Nick, he's a pretty good guy. I'm feeling like that. Like he didn't really want to hurt Sierra, and maybe he was doing a little game where he was like, well, maybe I can make it to the end with her. Or maybe in their private talks, she was telling Nick about how she used to watch Love Island and how she had a Love Island themed birthday party, and the producers loved him, and she had a shoe in, and if he just sticks with her till the end, they could ride this home. Maybe that's what happened, but we'll never know because on this season also, I'm not feeling like we're getting the little tidbits that we need to get. Getting a lot of facial expressions and a lot of silences and a lot of stares across the room when I know for a fact there have been some words and some conversations that would have added context and levity to the entire experiment But no, for some reason, production is playing in our faces. And as a first time Islander, I don't really like it. Zion, go to swimming. I have to go tell son to go to swimming. I'll be right back. Zion, come on. I don't know. Grab this towel. Is it District 56? They should be able to check you from your name. Which towel? Oh, it's only you. It's adult swimming. It's only you. That's what I was saying. It's only you. Sir, Reed, you're staying with me. It's only him today. It's only him. We're staying with him. Right. Yeah, you go next Sunday, babe. Okay, you guys, I'm back. They're getting you guys gotta go as I go. Okay. So what was I saying? What else are we doing? Sierra, the spell, Nick. I feel like he was doing his best. There's some more light. He was doing his best to stick with Sierra. I kind of feel like aesthetically, Beldasha was definitely his vibe, but then somehow Sierra came in and swooped the day away. And obviously, Olandria and her loyalty was to her detriment. And then, as it turns out, Nick and Olandria also have in common not only sticking to people who they necessarily don't need to stick with, but they also love underdogs. So I kind of feel like maybe that was part of Olandria's pull to Taylor was because he is kind of a goofball. And maybe she was like, oh, compared to like everybody else, if we're doing comparison, maybe she was like, oh, maybe he's like the underdog in this case. I don't know. So let's see what these comments are saying on the TikTok. Yeah, raise your hand if you voted. Bianca Edwards, thanks for coming over here. Yes, right on. Tap the screen. It don't cost a thing. You're in two places, Bianca. I appreciate you. For real. Vote for Chris and vote to win the finale. Why would we vote for Chris? He don't even like Huda. He don't even like Huda. You can leave with that. You can leave with that. You can go someplace that's definitely Chris and Huda because this is not the place for you. This is not a sympathetic place for adults that need depends. Okay, like a Huda's a whole adult that every time she makes a poop, he needs the whole villa to look for the pamper for her. Please, that baby experiment was perfect thing to remind everybody what a baby Huda is. Vote for Chris. For what? For therapy? Because he gonna need it after he gets out of the Hurricane Huda. Yes. I'm glad. Yes. Period. Yes, yes, yes. No episode tonight. They've been off on Wednesdays the whole experiment, and then they've been off on Saturdays the whole experiment. And plus I've heard also that the only reason we get to see them um eat breakfast is because when they eat lunch and dinner, they're not mic'd. And so their interaction has to be limited, and they actually have to go act like Huda being mad and go find some place to eat by themselves in the villa. And that's why Huda knew exactly how to go eat by herself and cry, was because that's usually what they have to do when they have lunch and dinner. They can't really talk. And that's part of why they don't go in the swimming pool either, because you can't have your mics on in the swimming pool. And so somebody else did point out that after Sierra left, a couple people did get in the swimming pool and they were probably talking about it, is what the guesses were, right? Uh, and even in Casa, he told Olandria that he would still explore her. Exactly. It's the lies. Yes, it's the lies, right? God don't like ugly and very little pretty. I tell you the truth. So, okay. So in my idea of love, it doesn't in to fall in love with somebody, you don't have to hunch them on the third day. Hunch, smash. do, do it, make love, hanky panky. None of that is necessary. So Huda, she did it wrong. That's a fake connection. That kind of connection fades the way that beauty does. Real connections are deep, foundational connections that are not based on physical attraction. Physical attractions obviously can change at any moment, obviously. So, but if you like get to know somebody's heart and mind, then you're able to like have that foundation of who that person is, sans the looks. You know what I mean? Without the money, without the looks, without the glitter, without the glam, right? So, I don't know that hunching on the third day is how to get a man and keep him. I will say that. Actually, it's how you get a man and lose him because men like chasing. And they kind of have this thing until they're monogamous by their choice that if they had it, then what they there for? It's a natural thing. Hey, you got to think about it as a primal thing. It's primal. It's primal. They have oats to sow and flowers to pick. Okay? It's not their fault that they're built like that. But part of the lure of attraction is the not knowing what the warm feels like. If they had it, as soon as Jeremiah found out how wet, how deep, and how hot Huda was, he was like, hey, he had it. And now you trying to impose all these rules on me just because you gave it to me and it was and I didn't even want it yet. He was even like, look, you should have made me wait a little longer because he's like, okay. And now she jumped Chris. And Chris started really thinking about who she is. So before he got it, he was like, ooh, hotta hot. I can't wait to have some hotta huda. I can't wait. And then he got it. And then he started thinking, oh, well, Huda's kind of weird. She'll hunch me in a room full of 8 other people with their partners. So that's 16 people, 17, 15, 11 people in beds arm distance away. You can high five the person in the bed next to you. And I see the blankets, they're thin. They don't keep out any sound, and I'm sure they don't keep out no smells. I'm positive they don't keep out no smells. Okay? So when Chris asked Huda, I'm kind of feeling away. I asked you for a kiss and you won't give me one. You're looking all around. Oh, I don't like kissing in public. And he's like, well, now you're confusing me because you're sounding a little crazy. You're sounding a little crazy. Okay? What you like to call people Huda bitch? You sound a little crazy, bitch. Okay? Because didn't you just smash me in a room with like 16 other people last night? And they could hear it, they could smell it, okay? They could hear it and smell it, Huda. But they can't see you kiss me. Really? And I'm glad that Chris had that realization. I'm glad that Huda mounted Chris and he got the realization that he might not want to be mounted by somebody who will only mount him in a room full of 16 other people but won't kiss him in front of not near one of them. Sounds like I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And then she tried to be like, oh, well, I don't like to have PDA. And then she was like, oh, well, they gave me so much stuff with Jeremiah that, I just really don't want to give him anything else to talk about. And we're like, whatever, Huda. I'm not shaming people, but they seem to be repeating patterns that don't work. She jumped on Jeremiah, it didn't work. People are even wondering, did you jump on JD? We don't know, but we know that she jumped on Jeremiah. We know that she jumped on Chris by all of their admissions, right? This is for men too. If you give it away, yeah, too easily, it means nobody wants it. Nobody wants a fuck boy. Not one person. Hey, Don, I'm shy. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, we're not shaming anybody. We're just noticing. We're just noticing. And while we're not shaming anybody, can anybody tell me who on Love Island hasn't smashed in a room full of people? There's only two people that haven't smashed in a room full of two people. They both happen to be melanated goddesses. Imagine that. No wonder we get such a bad rep that we're not freaky like the other girls. We're not just dropping to our knees, giving out BJs. Nope. Slow burning over here, baby. You're not getting none of this, cat. No. There'll be no cats loose over here. No melanin cats are loose in the villa. Not one melanin cat is loose in the villa. Nope. Nope. Olandria has not mounted or spit in her hand. Shelly has not mounted or spit in her hand. Amaya did Brian the night before they went to the hideaway. Then she did him in the hideaway. Hey, I'm not counting bodies, but bodies are counting me. I told y'all I got my mother, the Reverend, the 75-year-old Reverend Mama Curves. I got my mother, the Reverend, to start watching this show with me. Had no idea I was introducing my mother to softcore porn. Had no idea. My mom was like, "What did she do with her hand?" When Hannah was all, she was like, "What is she doing?" I was like, "Oh, Mom, cover your eyes." She saw the blankets going back and forth with Pepe and Hannah. She was like, "It looks like they're doing it." She's that old. It's still called doing it. Okay. And then she's like, "Is that Huda on top of Jeremiah? Who sleeps like that?" And then when she saw Iris's head come from under the cover, she was like, "Didn't TJ just leave?" I thought that was, oh, wait. She was so confused. So confused. But we both did notice that our melanated goddesses have not dropped it low, spread it wide, and have not compromised their morals in this whole experience. They're not, they were like, "This isn't OnlyFans, bitch. It's Love Island." Oh, but everybody else getting in there acting like it's OnlyFans because it's on Peacock. Peacock. Just because it's in the ends and cock doesn't mean we need to see one. Okay? Your mom's watching, your brother, your grandma, your auntie, your cousin from out of town might be watching you spin your hand and mount three different fools in 6 weeks. And the only time I saw rubber, because you know I was complaining about not seeing no rubbers, I think they should have a bowl, a visible bowl of rubbers like a candy bowl between each bed. That's what I've been saying they need. Because if you're promoting sex, which you're promoting by having me sleep in a bed with a horny stranger, you're obviously promoting sex in this environment. So you can at least promote safe sex in this environment and offer me some prophylactic, some lube, and a rubber. Sending the wrong message to these young kids. And I hear like there's 16-year-olds watching this. You need a rubber if you're going to have sex, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old. All y'all need a rubber. All y'all need a rubber. All y'all need to wrap it up. All y'all out here act like you got Love Island money. You end up with some luggage you can't get rid of, and it's not Louis Vuitton. Okay? You'll get some luggage you can't get rid of. You will be carrying it around forever. Isn't this what I'm supposed to do after I eat? Or is it this finger? I don't know. I don't know. It's very irresponsible. Very irresponsible. Think about it. Just think about it logically like me. So if I come to your house and I can smoke in your house, then should I have an ashtray? Or do you want ashes on your floor? Or perhaps a burn mark on your carpet? Or are you going to supply me an ashtray because you said I could smoke in here? It's the same thing. You're promoting sex in here. So at the hideaway, they should have, they showed me a closet full of whips and chains and butt plugs. I should see a freaking bowl of condoms and prophylactics. I should see it. That's the responsible thing to do. It's not sexy thinking about a rubber, but it sure will stop some luggage you can't get rid of. Okay. Or it'll stop the other thing that woke him up in the middle of the night, some babies, which Huda already got. And I think they really did that to show who it's Chris what you're going to end up with. Uh-huh. Because nobody feels like changing no diapers all day. I mean, they were cute. It was great for a day for a challenge, but nobody trying to do that all day. Ace got people to teach how to dance in Pakistan. He can't be going and change the baby diaper and he got 8 people on the little Zoom thing trying to teach him how to dance. You can't do that. And then Nick has to get to the damn modeling place. Okay. Olandria is selling elevators. Can't be taking the babies up high and low in the elevator. Nobody wants no damn baby when you're 23. That's why they showed that, I think, was to get it in your mind that, yeah, we're letting you see, like, yeah, fine. But also, it's a lot of responsibility. I'm not sure how Pepe and Iris passed the parenting test. They had the babies on the counter next to Hot Popping Grease. And they passed over Ace. I'm like, what the fuck didn't we see that the people that left the babies on the counter next to the stove beat Ace, who was so thoughtful the entire time. Care if he is bickering with his mom, with my baby mom. That's real life. But what's also real life is you don't not leaving no babies on the damn counter. And then Amaya. So if Amaya lost it because she walked away from the baby over there on the day bed, then Pepe and Iris needed to lose for leaving the babies on the counter. I'm not sure who's in charge of these freaking polls and rules that I'm not involved in because they keep doing it wrong. Okay? Keep doing it wrong. Huda should have been gone. We should not be to the final five and have Huda in the finals. She should have been out of there. How dare, how dare, I said it. How dare Love Island USA allow who, whatever her last name is, to cuss that black man out for 48 hours and then gaslight the whole United States into that he was the motherfucking problem when we figured over the definition of love bomb and she was the only bitch doing any of the love bombing. Jeremiah wasn't doing the love bombing. She was doing the love bombing. Check Google, bitch. Scream out at me. Don't be hey. You better stop being Kristen. Don't be Kristen with me. Me and Janet check Google for our definitions. I'm talking about Janet from the Valley, just in case you didn't know. Because Kristen Doty has a problem with her, but we don't care about Kristen, do we? No. I be going all over with my reality shows. Just pay attention. Keep up. Keep up. So I'm going to get to it again. For the people in the back, I'm going to look up love bombing meaning on this nifty device in my hand. You can do it too upon your hand. Everybody pull out your devices and turn to the chapter of Google. Okay? Turn to the chapter of Google and you're going to do the verse of love bombing meaning. Okay? And you can see right there in the chapter of Google, verse of love bombing meaning, that it says love bombing is the act or practice to influence and manipulate them. Look, there are stages to it. Oh my gosh. Idolization, devaluing, discard, and hovering. It sounds like a lot of the stuff Huda did, right? But then we tried to turn it around and everybody wanted to be, oh, poor little Huda because she knows how to cry on command. That's another thing. Anybody who knows how to cry on command, those aren't tears. Those are manipulations. You guys got manipulations. Those aren't tears. Okay. Love bombing. Let's see. They have this image right here. Let me show you. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, intense immediate affection. That's what happens when you mount somebody on day 3, 4. That's intense. And he didn't mount, she mounted. And he was like, you're moving too fast. She wouldn't listen. Discussing deep commitment and future plans too early. She was like, oh, what are you going to do when you get out of the house? And he said something. And then she went back and told the girls and that, oh, he wants to move in with me when we get out of the house. Deep plans. She was lying. He never said that. Excessive compliments claiming you're perfect. She's like, oh, you're the kind of guy that I usually like. Yeah. Doing all these different things. Oh, look, love bombing has a little to do with the narcissist. I'm not like a person that makes these. I just go by Google. I'm not doing no diagnoses or nothing. I just see behavior and I'm like, I wonder, is that word? And then I go and I look it up and then I'm like, oh, that's the word. Or I look up or I'm led to the word that it is. And in this case, I looked up love bombing because they were throwing out love bombing like they knew what the fuck it meant. So I went and looked it up because they were using it in a sentence in a context that I thought it had something to do with. And it really didn't. It really didn't. It really didn't. Okay? It really didn't. Okay? And it's okay. Oh, she needed to be rescued. She refuses any blame. Entirely different personality. That's all part of a love bomb. Signs you're being love bombed. Communication that contains demands. We saw in just the most recent episode, Huda said, oh, everything's going great as long as he's doing everything I say and always trying to make me happy. But as soon as he tried to mention one of his healthy boundaries, she had to walk away. She needs to go. That's why I don't think that Chris and Huda should win because he needs safety. At this point, somebody needs to free Chris. And the way I've been tagging Love Island USA in every post about the end of it all with Huda, because she did say it. Look, if Ulysses said it, spoke it, like with audible sound, and Sierra wrote it, then if Huda is going, see, doesn't it look like I just said it too? If you're deaf, I'm sorry, but I'm black, so I can say it. It's not a racial slur. Okay? It's not a racial slur when I say it. It's a racial slur if you say it and you're not black. And Ulysses said that you people should not put it in songs if you don't want her saying it, by the way. That's what Ulysses Escobar wants you to know. Ulysses Escobar wants you to know that you people should not put it in music if you don't want her to say the N word. And then she thought some more about it after she said that. And she decided that we all just need to stop being so mad over all these bad words anyway, because other people's mental health. Forget the people that you like hurt when you say it, forget their feelings. But because the people that say it, feelings get hurt back, that's why now we have to start not using the word because really they can't use it. That's what the problem is. When they can't use it, they get jealous. They like they got one thing they can do that we can't do. Yeah, bitch. Every race, pick your race, insert slur there, and only you can say it. Like had Sierra been of Asian descent, she wouldn't have had no problem. It wouldn't have been a slur. But even Bella and Zach K Beldasha and Zach K said, no, they can't get down with that because it was a slur to her people. And the way she said it, that was high key rude. That was very, very rude. Okay? Did you see Sierra's apology video? Oh no! Oh, let's go. Sierra Ortega apology video. Let's see. See, will it let me in? This isn't my usual phone. Oh yeah, here we go. Sierra Ortega.
And now that I've been back in the US for about 48 hours and I've had the chance to process, I now feel like I'm at a space where I can speak about this without being highly emotional because I am not the victim in this situation. While I was in the villa, there was a post that resurfaced from my past where I was very naively using an incredibly offensive and derogatory term. And before I get into the details, I want to first start by addressing not just anyone that I have hurt or
Can you guys hear it?
but most important.
Can you guys hear it okay? Let me know if you can hear it. This is on her Instagram page. Yes, great, Patrice. Thank you. Awesome, Oya. Thank you.
The entire deeply, honestly, so sorry. I had no idea that the word held as much pain, as much harm, and the history that it did, or I never would have used it. No ill intention when I was using it, but that's absolutely no excuse because intent doesn't excuse ignorance. It just doesn't. And I just need you to know that I am so sorry. But this is not an apology video. This is an accountability video. I don't want to hold my hands up and say that I take accountability for using the word, but I do want it to be known that I genuinely had no idea that it was a slur. I had no idea of its meaning. And it wasn't until I made the public story post in 2024 when a follower of mine reached out to correct me and let me know that what I was saying was incredibly hurtful. It was a derogatory term. It was a slur. And in that moment, I was embarrassed. Of course, immediately deleted the post. I was apologetic and I educated not only myself on the true meaning and history of the word, but also anyone around me who was accidentally holding space for this slur. When this person did message me, which I'm so grateful that she did, I had a good conversation with her about it. I made the correction immediately. The word was immediately removed from my vocabulary. And I think right now there are tons of things floating around, different screenshots with different timestamps and fueling this narrative that I sort of doubled down once people tried to correct me and was like, oh, like I don't know, I'm still gonna use it, but that was not the case. Like the truth is that in that moment, the lesson was learned, the word was removed, and it was a true learning moment for me. And I think since that moment, I've done so much growing as an individual, and I've tried my best to educate others who might be accidentally holding space for these types of words that could be offensive to my vocabulary. Um, I completely agree with the conversation turned away from the villa. I think that this is something that deserves punishment, and the punishment has absolutely been received for sure. I think the backlash has obviously been very hard to deal with, but I understand that people are kind of confused why I would have even said it or why I would have been doubling down and continuing to use it. So I understand where the hate is coming from. And I can do my best to drown out the noise and pay attention to the truth. But what's been extremely, extremely difficult is the way people are approaching my family and my loved ones. They have had ICE called on them. My family doesn't feel safe in their own home. I'm receiving death threats. There's no need to fight hate with hate. I don't think that that's justice. And if you want to know that you were heard and that I'm sorry and that I will move differently, I promise you that's what will happen. I know that no apology could ever be enough for the harm that I've caused and the offense that's taken place. I know that moving forward, my actions and how I decide to live my life from here on out is going to speak louder than any apology ever could. But I do need it to be known that I am sorry and I did mean no harm. And hopefully, there are people out there that can use my mistake as a learning moment. and to just be better because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take today and tomorrow and I'm going to take strides to be better. And all I can ask for is even if you won't give me forgiveness, if you can just allow me to grow with grace. And hopefully, instead of sitting here and trying to convince you that I am this amazing person who spreads light in the world and celebrates cultures and dynamics and backgrounds, then one day you can see that from me. Um, I'm deeply sorry again, and I think anyone who's listening. I know a lot of people have been to
Oh,
speak up about the news that's come to light recently, and now that I've been back.
it was good. She did good. That was a good apology. And calling ICE on just because her last name is Ortega. Look, I think we could keep the authorities out of this shit. Look, I'm black, and we could just keep the authorities out of this, please. That would be nice. You know, look, that's kind of hard. But hey, posting this on Wednesday when there's no Love Island, literally, all she can do now is apologize. It sounds like she did her research. But somebody in the TikTok comments over here is saying, what are you saying? Oya is saying that she allegedly told people initially when she was using the derogatory term that she could use it. She didn't care if it was derogatory or something, she said. Um, she didn't find it derogatory, is what the comment says. And I actually heard something like that too. I heard that it was a two-time thing, and that the reason it became a second time was because the first time she was like, oh, I don't think it's a slur. So then she went on and did it again. And this time she put it in writing. She put it in writing that her eyes were this Asian slur unless she goes and gets her eyes lifted with Botox, you guys. That's what she was saying. So that's, yeah. I don't know why she didn't think it was a slur. I don't understand. And I don't know why Ulissa said everybody, Ulissa snitched on her whole community. Look, you worried about somebody calling ICE on you. So Ulissa snitched on all y'all. She said it's very rampant in her community to say that word, to say the N word, just the way she was saying it. Her last name is Escobar. I'm not sure what, I don't know. But she said in her community, they say it all the time. And so she was ignorant because they always say it, all of them. Okay. That's what we're dealing with. So no wonder our sister goddesses had the time that they had in there. We felt it as black girls. We already knew that they was up against all those macroaggressions. You know, I don't call them micro because it's big shit. Okay. We call them macro over here because the only way to get rid of it if it's a big enough problem. So let's make it macro instead of micro. It's a big problem, not a little problem. Okay. You got to get rid of it. Ixnay on the racist say. As an Asian, I can't forgive that state. Exactly, right? Like you just, I mean, what are we supposed to do? Like, fine, there's learning, fine, there's accountability, but like it's not gonna stop until it stops. My husband goes to the basketball park 1 block away from our house, and this is a very diverse neighborhood in California. And we're black, obviously, and he'll be at the basketball court, and white kids are saying it, Filipino kids are saying it, all kind of Asian kids are saying it. The Indian kids are even saying it, like East Asian Indian kids are saying the N word. Everybody's just saying it, okay? And yeah, and I feel the same way. I don't feel like forgiving your ass for saying that word. It's not, and then, oh, and then Ulissa wants everybody to educate her. You shouldn't get mad at us. You should educate us, bitch. That's what school is for. And you should have been paying attention. Because I'm sure there's a class called Don't Say That Slurred. Don't say it. Okay? It was pretty obvious she knew the intent. Yes, because she directed it towards her eyes. Exactly. I told y'all before that over here, you know, on Larger Curves on my YouTube channel over here, where we are doing a 5K giveaway. When we reach 5K, we're doing a Love Island giveaway. But on the way there, we're going to be doing our first Love Island giveaway the weekend of the 20th of July. So be sure you're subscribed over here on Larger Curves so that you can be in the drawing for your Love Island merch. Okay. So, yes. So here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna talk about this love story real quick before we get out of here because I had made this an open panel for the YouTube specifically where see that's why you just gotta that's the thing. This is another note to self. I love my curvy crew, I love my subs, and I love my followers. And I do try to accommodate often. However, my first mind was to just go live the regular way instead of like use all this stuff on my computer and I just wanted to go live from, from YouTube. I mean, from YouTube, yeah, the vertical way because you get more watch hours and everything, right? So, like for my own personal goals, I was going to do that. But then I got the request from several of my subs. They were like, "Oh yeah, we'll come back. Do an open panel. We'll come back." I was like, "Well, I got to use Restream for that, so I'll come back and everything." But you've got to be here at 6 o'clock. Come on through. We're doing it over here. I didn't even show up. I didn't even show up. Okay. And that's not a huge problem. And it's just like, please show up. If I'm going through all of this, can you show up? I would love to talk to the person about it too. And then I was going to go live with this other person. And I was like, oh, I found out that they liked Love Island too. So I reached out to them and I was like, you want a Love Island panel? And they were like, yeah. So then we ended up not ever doing it. Not yet anyway. Like we didn't, I was like, well, what time and days work good for you? And they were like, oh, anytime. I was like, well, what time and day? And they were like, oh, anytime. So that to me kind of says that they really didn't want to participate anyway, because what time and day is pretty clear to me. What time that's like 10, 1, 2, 8, 5 of day. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And that lady didn't say neither, not one, not one, nothing of that. So that should have been my sign. But then I ended up seeing the same person in another live as in a chat, right? And another subject came up. This person was like, "You're a liar. The because it was about the floods in Texas." And I was going by again, hey, me and Google, we do big shit together. We do big shit together, me and Google, okay? And I checked several news media outlets, and I know they all like they got their issues, but if more than three say this shit, then I'm like, bam, that must be almost true, right? So I do my do. I do my do. So what I found out about the Texas things was the FEMA cuts, the cuts to the weather, the and some other things had everything to do with how people didn't get warned and the response time and things like that. And so this person was like, "You're lying." And I was like, I literally pulled it up on the live and I'm like, "Look, bitch, this is where it says, oh, you just believe everything you read." For one, she knows she picked the right one. 'Cause I love a good look. We could do this shit all day. Okay? The people at Comcast hate to see me coming. We can look, you got tricks, I got tricks too. Okay? Okay, all day. I'm a what again? So that was two times this bitch called me a liar because I'm reading facts, right? So bottom line is we won't be going live about Love Island because there's no love there. Okay? That bitch is crazy. That's crazy to me. That's just crazy to me. And then had the nerve to tell me because I read something that I was crazy for believing what I read, but then quoted something that she read. And none of it was Britannica. You guys, that used to be where you get all your facts, was Encyclopedia Britannica back in the day. And you were very rich if you had the Encyclopedia Britannica set. And if it was leather embossed and you had all the whole alphabet plus the numbers at the end, you guys was doing good. Okay? You didn't need to ever go to the library if you had the Encyclopedia Britannica at your house. Anyway, I just thought that was a little cute story. Um, so the love story that is NOlandria. We just saw Sierra's apology video, and that is the whole reason why they get to explore their connection because Olandria was feeling guilty about her friend Sierra, and Nick was feeling guilty about his girlfriend or his closed off position with Sierra. And even though they both had these feelings and this friendship ever since day one. And so now that Taylor made his choice and gave me a CLARKE off the island, and now that Sierra's done an apology video, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad because I don't understand. Do they have to be closed off in order to win the show? Because if they have to be closed off in order to win the show, then I need Nick to close it off with Olandria. Because Sierra technically closed it off with Nick when they went on their picnic. She said she led him to say it. And the same way that Nick came up with the name NOlandria, he's telling you where he wants to go to dinner, girl. He's telling you where he want to take you out, what to have on, and everything. He came up with a nickname for y'all, NOlandria. That is amazing. And I think that that shows that he's very interested and has been for a long time. And that when they did have that kiss and soul ties, when production tried to set him up, um, it was because maybe they knew that, Taylor wasn't into her and everything. So they were trying to save her maybe. But she was like, no, I'm still on Taylor. Let me go get my man. Ran back to the casa to go get Taylor, and he was hugged up with Clark and didn't never unhug her except for to lie to Olandria and tell her I'm interested in you too. So now all that's over, and they can finally be together in love. And to me, real love starts with friendship. The longest love starts platonic friendship. The longest romances, they didn't hit it the first day. They didn't hit it the first day. No, they didn't. And even Patty Stanger, remember the lady who used to do Millionaire Matchmaker? And she would do good matches that would last for like over a decade. Okay. And her thing also was do not give it up. Do not mount anybody. Do not spit in your hand for nobody. Nope. Do not do those things until you guys are monogamous. Okay. Just don't. Because if you do, Patty had it all figured out, and she was right. Those girls would be like, "Oh well, and that fool would leave with his millions of dollars and not call again. He'd want another matchup after he hit it too soon." Patty had a formula. 3 months. 3 months is a nice long time of getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm light and breezy because of all the wonderful and new things I'm learning about you day by day. Isn't that way more romantic than they're doing it wrong? Okay. Oh, and that goes for Iris and Pepe too. Okay, so Iris and Pepe are kind of like Nolandria, except for I feel like Nolandria should win because Iris and Pepe came in like they're not day oneers. I want these day oneers to win. I need villas. I need these two villa day one people to get it together, close it off, win, win, win. It's a real love story. Pepe and Iris, two bombshells came in after. They literally both just got off their person and they literally both just got off their person and they're gonna get on each other. Please. Uh-uh. But then again, she has known him for at least, I don't know, I think she's known Pepe for what, 3, 4 weeks? Okay, so Jeremiah left day 18. We are on episode 32. Today would have been tomorrow's 33. Jeremiah left episode 18. Iris and Pepe came because America, Iris was there when he left, so minus the 4. So maybe around day 14, Iris and Pepe came. So that still means that Nolandria has 2 weeks further of friendship. They have 2 weeks further to be in love. They have 2 weeks further to just have been vibing with nothing to worry, see here, except for we're great friends and we're growing this friendship. It's budding into a relationship. And yeah, and actually, the way she slept with Taylor, I don't think that when I saw Taylor and Olandria sleeping together, like it always seemed really far. And I noticed that Taylor slept as the little spoon with Clark. And I noticed that Olandria is little spoon to Nick. They kind of cuddle. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not mad at it at all. I'm not mad at it at all. And it's still a developing love story that they haven't even rolled with sex yet. Even though, okay, like, I don't really want any of the melanated goddesses to like go out on their backs with their legs up in the air on national TV for my entertainment. We can leave that to the other islanders. They already got it covered. I would be okay with Nick and Olandria being able to go to the hideaway and just talk all night and make out hot and heavy. I don't need them to have actual intercourse in that room. I would be fine with them having just awesome conversation like that. What do you guys think? Or is that part of what Love Island is? I told you I'm a first time Islander, so I don't know, you know? But those were my thoughts, you guys. Nick and Olandria getting voted off tomorrow. I hope it's not. I hope Huda and her dysfunctional ass and Chris, her newest victim, are who's voted off the island tomorrow. And I suspect that I'll be right because see this mole on my eye right here? The lady in TikTok told me it means I see stuff. And what I saw is Huda off this island. Okay? And was just getting ready to wrap it up because I was in here talking about NOlandria, the love story, and about the way we need to vote, okay? And I was mentioning how it's not lost on me as a melanated goddesses that the only people that haven't spit in their hand and mounted anybody in the house are other melanated goddesses. And I'm not slut shaming anybody. I'm just saying, way to hold out, ladies. Way not to make it OnlyFans. Okay, you don't have to be on OnlyFans to be on Love Island. I do not think you need to do this to win. I do not. Okay. And then we played Sierra's apology, and she said she's just sorry. She didn't say we need to stop saying the word in songs so she can know better. She didn't tell on our whole community and say they always use the word either, like you listen. She didn't say that. She just like, nope, not never saying it again. I'm sorry. That was horrible. I'm bad. It's wrong. Period. I like that kind of apology. Um, and then we talked about Taylor going to the home that him and Clark were talking about. Oh, you were listening and driving? Was I going crazy? Was I going too much? Because ooh, I just can't even fathom the thought of Huda winning. Why would Huda win? Why is she still in the casa? Doesn't Chris look like a victim? Doesn't Chris look like Blink Twice, like he's sitting in there like this? He's trying to get the message out. Trying to blink twice. Somebody needs his help. Oh, you're finally home? Yay! Right on. I feel like, oh my gosh, where is it? Where is it? There's no episode tonight, but tomorrow we're going to go live and there's going to be an episode tomorrow. Be sure if you are on my YouTube or on my TikTok or in my Twitch, you can come back to my TikTok tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, and we will be doing a live watch party over here with Mama Curves on the phone. Yes, so that'll be fun. And hopefully we'll get our love story one step closer to the end with Nolandria. Be sure you have your app downloaded because your Love Island app because there's more voting to happen tomorrow. There's more voting to happen tomorrow. Yep. Oh, and you guys, there's a casting call. So any of you supposed bombshells think you can do a better job than Iris? Any of you supposed Islander villa girls think you can do a better job than Shelly? They're having a casting call. So if you guys have the app, you guys might get a vacation in Fiji next year. Who knows? But look, this is the PSA. Clean your social media first. Make sure those tweets are deleted. Make sure there's no digital footprint that you're a racist or racist leaning. Okay? Don't be xenophobic, homophobic, or racist. Okay? Because we don't want you on our TVs for entertainment. We don't like the idea of you getting $100,000 if you're going to call Chinese people a slur. We don't like the idea of you getting $100,000 if you're going to berate a black man and then use the N word. We don't like it. We don't like it. Okay? And fortunately, in this game, we get to vote. When we like stuff, we like it. When we don't, we don't. Taylor. It wasn't even Taylor's fault, but it was. It was all his fault, actually. It was all his fault. So anyway, you guys, look. So the casting call, it starts with, I got to text you up for the villa. Want to be on the next island. It's your moment to shine. Don't sleep on it. Then you say, apply here. And the first thing it asks you is how old you are. I bet if I put my real age, it'll be like, this isn't Granny's Island. This isn't Granny's Gone Wild. But the first thing it asks for is your date of birth. And you just have to be over 18. I should put in a fake birthday and we can see together what the next question is. Because how do these people even make it onto our screen? How old do you think I have to be? If I was born in, wait, to be 25, I would have had to been born in 2020. Duh. So I'll say one. Oh, look, I said 1/17/20, 2020. It said access denied. Yeah, that's what it said. I said 1/17/2020. Did I sign up with my real birthday or something? I don't think so. But yeah. Yeah, 22, that wouldn't have been bad. It said no this time, huh? Maybe they upped the age. It said I only had to be 18. I have another. You guys try on your devices. Tell me if you get in with the age 22. Tell me if you get in with the age 22. Someone say Chris is Huda's karma. I can't unsee it. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, let me see. I could play this for you. Because there's this clip going around of how
Virgo Sun, Gemini
of
Moon,
how Huda
and Slice.
of how Huda hasn't changed.
Educate people more on that. And that's why like
Sorry.
kind of upset about it. But
Shh. Of how Huda hasn't changed. It's just a different day, you guys. Just a different day. So this is in here. So then I go here. Then I sent. Oh, here it is.
sorry.
I'm sorry. So this is a clip. This is a montage. It starts with her and Huda. It starts with Huda and Jeremiah, and then it's when she was sitting next to Jeremiah, and he said something to her, and it's the infamous, "Do you want to take a shower together?" And he's like, "No, because you're rude. You're rude." And she was trying to use sex as a way to make him forget her rudeness. See, mounting them does not change anything, you guys. He said no because you're rude. He was like, clear boundary, no, because you're rude. She does not like it.
Trying to make another one? Sounds like you're trying. That was fun stuff. My characters. It sounds like being gone. You know, or no, you know what I mean? You know that's gonna be on and like, or like, you're trying to do too much, or like, when you say doing, then you got your head in the game. Honestly, little stress because one of it's it's just a lot better. Like in this small
I was letting you take it. Yeah.
This well, if you were trying to make another one. Sounds like a challenge. Is that fine? That was fun as well. That's fine. I'm not gonna carry by your side. No, no. Something like huh?
So JD tried to tell us Jeremiah told us she was rude, didn't respect his boundaries. He was practically molested by her. And we can look up the word. You guys don't like the Google definitions. Look it up. Hey, I know it's a strong word, but if it was a woman getting hickeys upon her neck from a man after we heard her say she does not want that, and then she ends up with 25 more, we would use those kinds of words. And well, I would, because no is no. No is no. Okay? Okay, you guys. So I hope you were able to hear that a little bit. We're coming up on an hour and a half, and I don't want to keep you guys too long. We are looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow, tomorrow we get to vote again. Like I said, make sure you have your app downloaded. And yes, NOlandria. See, I'm telling you why I'm going with NOlandria is because Nick thought it up. And if Nick was thoughtful enough to pick the restaurant and have the car ready, then I say we go with NOlandria. He doesn't even mind that he only gets the end of the whole word. We were trying to include him because we're used to Brangelina, right? So it had BRA and then it had her. So we're used to it being more, you know, mixed. But all you need is a good old N when he says so. If he says it could be NOlandria, then it's NOlandria. We don't need NOlandria. We don't need NOlandria. I like NOlandria because it's kind of like Nola. I like NOlandria. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. And he thought of it. So hey, that I feel like that could be a winner. It could be a winner. He picks a winner. Anyway, you guys, thanks for coming in to Larger Curves. Make sure you're smashing that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in or out. Yeah, I should have said 2020 means I was only 5. You guys should have told me sooner. You guys should have told me sooner. I meant 2000. That's what I was doing. And then I put the 2 in the thing instead of over there. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I just kicked myself out. I'll never know. But luckily I have it on two devices. So I'll try it on here and I'll film, I'll do a screen recording of the other questions that I get when I say that I'm only 23 for real instead of 5. Okay. They were like, access denied. Does your mom know what you're doing? And that's what I'm saying. Your mom, your grandma, your cousin, your uncle, your pastor. And not that you're living for these people, but I mean, they will be thinking about you spitting in your hand next time they see you. If that's what you're doing on these shows, they will be thinking about you mounting somebody next time they see you. They will be thinking about you cussing out that man for 2 days. Next time they see you, they will. They will. Yep. They will be thinking about how you played in Olandria's face, Taylor, next time they see you on the street, bruh. They will think about how you was laughing at Olandria, Clark. When you get home, they're gonna be like, "What was all this burr stuff that you was doing with the girl?" Like, and then, oh wait. Did you hear that Zach K got home and lied and said that the girls bully Huda? Really, bitch? I'm like, really? I'm gonna have to go listen to the whole thing. Oh, and then Janae, she was in the show last year. Um, she did an interview with Kiki Palmer, the used to be Disney girl. And it's a fantastic podcast. You guys should really go listen to that. And who else? Grayson just touched down and did the Chicks in the Office interview. So usually what happens is they leave the casa and they do a Chicks in the Office interview, and then they did a Nick Vile interview. Usually that's what's been happening. And then they do other interviews. So so far I've only seen that Grayson hit Chicks in the Office. But you know who's hanging out is Jeremiah, Charlie, Hannah, and Jeremiah, Charlie, Hannah, and they were all hanging out. And JD, Coco, and Andriana are all hanging out. Yeah. Hey, Mama Curves. Looks like she just got on TikTok over there. But like I said, I'm not going to keep you guys long. It's been a while already. And I'll just call you in real life, Annie, and we can talk about it that way. Because, yeah. NOlandria for the win, people. Austin. Yeah, Austin has been hanging out with Charlie also. But I didn't really catch him in the picture with Austin and Jeremiah. But I saw Charlie. No, okay. I saw Charlie with Jeremiah. But Austin, I didn't see in the picture, but he could very well be there too. But I didn't see him in the picture. But he was in the immediate picture before with Charlie and the immediate picture after. So maybe he just wasn't in that one. JD, Zach, C hanging out. Yes, race with racist Julissa. So Zach C has a very nice house. I'm not sure where he from, but he has like a four-level house with 5 swimming pools. And JD, he let JD, you're dominant. You're dominant. He let JD move in with him, and outside of JD's room, he gave a My Cribs tour. I posted it on my page earlier, um, of his new place that he's sharing with Zach C. Ended up, I don't know where he got his money or what he's doing over his stuff because he got it going on, you guys. I'm not sure. But he has like 4 stories and 5 pools. I'm not sure even where. I think did he mention Vietnam? I don't know where they are, but hey, I don't know where you can get 5 pools and it's JD, but Zach does, and it's at his house. Yeah, Julissa, uh, I heard that she needed to go sit down though. I saw that they hung out, and then I saw that she got a little backlash for it, because they were trying to like present themselves as more than just one episode. They were like, please, you were on the screen for 20 seconds, you know. But hey, so is Jalen wasn't there that long either, and he's doing great. You guys, let me just ask you one more thing. Um, so on Love Island, part of it is to build these people's social medias if they have them. Let them come home to nice, big, gigantic numbers. Oh, it's only in Arizona. You got 5 pools in Arizona. I'm gonna have to check his neighborhood out. Um, and we need Olandria. She just got barely over 500,000, you guys. We need her over. Why does Huda have 2 million followers? You guys need to be right. You guys need to be right. Look, why are you rewarding the Huda in you by giving her so many followers? Why are you going to make her rich for cussing out black men and showing her ass on TV and villainizing black women? Why are you guys doing that? Why can't you just like go support, at least go support Olandria also? At least go support Shelly also. The black girls in the house have almost the least followers of the people in there. That's disgusting to me. And it's high key what the whole season is revealing is that everything leads back to racism. Everything. If you in America, then it leads back to racism. Yeah, yeah, unfortunately. And it shows in the numbers because they're not translating people. They're not translating. How the only girl with morals not having any additional, she got like 29 new followers this week or something like that. Yeah. Well, okay. So they're saying that Huda bought her followers. Hey, even if they did, somebody needs to go buy some for Olandria and somebody needs to go buy some for Shelly. Okay? Because yeah. And I don't know if you can get Jalen from 0 to 1.7 million in 48 hours, then we can get Olandria from 625,000 to over 1 million in the same 24 hours. She can come home to big numbers, okay? That's what I think should happen because it needs to reflect people. I don't know what's up with the rewarding all this abhorrent behavior. We need to reward rewardable behavior. Positive reinforcements are for good behavior, not bad behavior. And when you get a kid, you'll find out. You positively reinforce the behavior you want to see more of, okay? And you redirect the behavior that you don't want to see anymore, okay? So far, all of these positive reinforcements for cussing people out, being a control freak, trying to use sexual manipulation, and a freaking being emotional vampire is paying off. But when you're honest, forthright, gracious, and thoughtful, you don't get nothing. It sounds like the world we live in, but it doesn't have to. So you guys be sure and go follow these people. They're sharing their life with us. I know I go in a little bit, but it's just thoughts. It's just thoughts. They're on a TV show, so I get thoughts and I'm sharing them with you just like they're sharing their lives with us. Okay. So kudos to them, to all the participants for having the courage to even go up to Apollo and rub the log before they go sing a song that you might boo them off the stage for, okay? They got more nerve than me, and I'm willing to admit it, and I'm thankful for that, okay? And when you do it, then I talk about it. So, you guys, remember there's enough to go around.
Logic, come get
Like
it
I always say,
Logic, feel like a thought. Logic, here we're all equal. Logic, still take you far. Logic, get the lace off the logic. Come have some fun. Logic, he's the one. Logic, you know where to come.
okay, Curvies, you know what's up. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. If you haven't already, ring my bell. Ring my bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video so you can become part of the beautiful community that we're growing in the YouTube streets, on the TikTok streets, in the Twitch streets, on the Facebook streets, in the Discord streets. You pick a street and we're there. Larger curves, all right? And remember what I always say. There's enough to go around, so get some. Wait, I might have to undo everything I just said. Barb, okay, so I was talking a little bit about how a person asked me to go and they wanted to come and talk and then they didn't show up. And then I was like, well, it was coming up on an hour. I did say 6. Darn. Yeah, I was just leaving though. But we can hook up tomorrow. Um, my email is largercurves@gmail.com. So hit me in my email, Barb, and we'll figure out a time tomorrow. We'll see how we can do this thing for tomorrow. I'm definitely going live from this TikTok right here. Thank you, TikTokers, for coming through and smashing my buttons. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video, though, you guys. Talk to you soon, Barb. NOlandria for the win!